So many projects, mine included, call for hot glue guns. I feel like hot glue is the duct tape of the craft world because we use it for so many things and it does a great job keeping unusual things together. If you're new to the idea of using hot glue, the way it works is we use a special tool called a hot glue gun to heat a rod of special adhesive with a continuous heating element that pushes the glue, heats up the glue and then pushes it out the tip as you pull on the trigger. I have several glue guns here for us to look at. I'm going to get them out so you can see them. So I separate glue guns into different categories. The first one is whether or not it has a cord or a battery. Corded glue guns are the most common and honestly also the most reliable. And that's because most battery operated glue guns tend to run out of batteries just when we need them. And I also notice that sometimes they struggle to get, and this one is just charging. Sometimes they struggle to get hot enough fast enough. The biggest advantage to a cordless glue gun is that they can go anywhere and you don't have a cord dragging around messing up your stuff, right? So all of these have cords and I'm struggling with them, but this one I can just move anywhere. And let me give you a close-up, in fact, of these so that you can see. So here is a corded glue gun, and I have several of them right here. And here is a cordless, right? So sometimes you can just put batteries in the bottom, or there's even some that have like butane. So you just put butane canisters in there and they're heated that way, but a lot of them have these charging ports. So you can have, like rechargeable batteries. So these are both two that I have used. Okay, so our next category is, let me give this a little space here. All right, so the next one is the size, right? So some glue guns use mini glue sticks like these. These are all mini glue guns right here, all of these ones. And they use little glue sticks. Others use regular size ones like this one. There's even some jumbo ones out there but I've never used any of those. It's important to know what kind of glue gun you have so you can get the right glue sticks, right? The mini glue guns can deliver the hot glue in smaller amounts. They usually have smaller nozzles, and that's really nice for small crafts. The biggest downside to a mini glue gun is that the glue options can be more limited. The best mini glue gun I've ever used is this Cricut one. It comes with also the best mini glue sticks I've ever found. They aren't anywhere near as messy as others that I've tried. There's fewer drips and less strings, in my opinion. Now, it doesn't have a stand, you'll see, like the others. It just lays down like this, but it works because it doesn't really drip, okay? And it also has a really nice trigger. It's a little bit more controlled than the other mini glue guns that I've tried. And then it's got this really tiny little nozzle here, so I don't get huge globs of glue. So that's the mini right there. So of the minis, I really like this. But honestly, for many years, this is probably one of my original ones. I don't even know where I got it. It's like an off-brand. Maybe I got it on Amazon. It totally worked just fine, right? Maybe a little messy. You can see here, it's seen better days, right? It's got little glue strands stuck to it, but it works just fine, right? A little on-off switch right there. Here's another really small one. This one has a little stand, right? It's really cute. So you can certainly use, there's a lot of different mini ones that work great, okay? And then the bigger ones, this is also one that I used for many years. And here's our cordless one, right? And then this beastie one right here, this is definitely corded. Now this one it's got really long glue sticks. So the nice thing about that is that you don't have to refill as often. Also, it comes with these interchangeable tips, right? So you can have different sizes, right? So right now we have just a standard nozzle on there, but you can get different sizes for different things. And there's a lot of really more expensive glue guns because they range in price from like $1 at the Dollar Tree, or sorry, $1.25, right? And they can get a lot more expensive, right? I typically don't use a glue gun like this. This is This is Greg's. So I don't usually need anything that high powered. All right. Now, another category of when it comes to glue guns is temperature. Okay, you can get low temperature glue guns and you can get high temperature glue guns, even ones with variable temperature. This one here has the ability to change it all the way from low to high. Why does temperature matter? So a low temperature is good for delicate things like foam, lace, lightweight fabric, that sort of thing. Low temperature is also more forgiving if it gets on your skin, to be honest. And low temperature glue has a higher viscosity, so it melts a little faster, right? It's still pretty hot though. In fact, a low temperature glue gun is as hot as about 170 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Still hot though. The lower temperature does give you more flexibility, and it will let you reposition things a little bit more before it cools too. So those are the advantages to a low temp. High temperature, on the other hand, is better for more rigid materials like wood, ceramics, anything non-porous, right? This is a high temperature glue gun. It's about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, but some high temperature glue guns like this one go all the way up to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. So, and if you get hot glue on yourself, that at this temperature, that's a 3rd degree burn. So be very cautious, please. The Cricut glue gun is a high temperature glue gun. And by the way, if a glue gun doesn't say what the temperatures is on the package, it's usually a high temperature glue gun. And so it's important to know what your temperature is too, because, oops, I'm going to sneeze, sorry. One moment. I don't want to sneeze. I'm going to drink a tea. Let's see if that helps. It's important to know what the temperature of your glue gun is, because when you go to get glue sticks, it matters, right? You can certainly use dual temperature glue sticks. The Cricut glue sticks are dual temperature, right? So are the ones for like this beast here. All right, so let me give you some tips and tricks for using your glue gun. I have lots of them. So let me just rearrange things just a little bit more here. We have so many glue guns here. I need like a fancy glue gun stand. All right, so my first tip is to let it heat up before you use it, okay? So be sure you plug your glue gun in a few minutes before you're ready to use it, all right? All of them, for the most part, they'll have LED lights. Like this has an LED light. The orange light you just saw meant it was warming up. The green light meant it's ready to go, right? So they all will have some different colors so that you're not surprised, but on the Cricut one, that's what it looks like. If you don't have an LED to tell you when it's ready, just pull the trigger on it. And if you see the glue come out pretty easily, just like it did right there, right? Let me see if I can get that up a little higher. If it comes out pretty easily, you know it's good to go. Don't force the glue out with a lot of pressure. If you have to force it out, it's not hot enough and it's not going to work anyway, okay? It needs to come out pretty quickly. All right. Let me adjust. I don't want to burn myself. It's very important to be safe here. Okay, so another thing is that you want to make sure you're loaded. And let me give you an example. In fact, let's get out some glue sticks. It's my package of glue sticks right here. In fact, it's a great time to talk about glue sticks. So these are the mini glue sticks that come with the Cricut. There's many different glue sticks though. They have these. Here's some mini glue sticks I got at the Dollar Tree many years ago. These are actually older. Here's some glue sticks that also came from the Dollar Tree. These came from there today. This here is the new packaging. These are actually glitter glue sticks here. So new packaging. Here is, oops, making a mess here, sorry. This is a great brand of glue sticks. Gorilla, I really like these. And they're great for all of these things I'm showing you are generally multi-purpose glue sticks. These is a great brand. I love these. These are the full size. So note that these are, let's separate them out. These are minis here. These are regular sizes here. And here's the nice long ones. Look at these. These are awesome. You won't have to refill anywhere near so much with these. And then here's another pack here. So lots of glue stick options, right? But you want to make sure you're getting the right size. Minis are not going to work in the big ones, the regular size, and vice versa. So that's always important that you know. But there is some variety in your glue sticks. So for example, the Gorilla glue stick, I think that they're really strong, right? Not surprising given the brand here. They also have a little longer, what we call open time, so that before the glue actually starts to adhere, so just a little longer. And then if you want to get fancy, there's glitter, there's actually some wood glue sticks, there's a lot of different things. So yeah. All right, but let me show you how to load. If you're brand new to using a glue gun, which you might be, some people are just like, I don't want to use a glue gun. So here is the mini glue sticks. Let's take one out. I think they've got this open. Yes, I do. It's got a little zip top here. So this is a glue stick, right? You can touch it. It's not sticky or anything like that. Let's set this up here. Here is the Cricut glue gun. By the way, these little things, we can just take them right off like this, so it's not messy. Comes really, really well off this the self-healing mat. So a glue stick goes right in the back here. There's actually already one in there right now. You can see. I want you to see. That's right. So when you're ready to use your glue gun, you push the glue gun into here towards the heating element, which is right here. Now, if you are using a new glue gun for the first time, you really want to be sure to put your glue stick in before you plug it in and turn it on. Okay, and then after that, you've used it for a while, your glue stick will start to get low, right? So you can see mine is starting to get low. If your glue stick gets too low and there's nothing left to push, this one has a nice little ability to see in there, it will just sort of stop, even if there's a little glue stick left. So to get it to start working again, you just put another glue stick up against the back and then you press down on your trigger to load it. And that way, when you're done using your glue stick, when you're done using your glue gun, you do want to just leave the glue stick right in there. You do not want to remove it, especially like you don't remove that glue stick, and you would definitely not want to remove it while your glue gun is turned on, because the glue could drip onto you, and it's very, very hot. So leave that glue in there. If you want to switch to a different kind of glue, then use the rest of the glue. Just get out a scrap piece of paper or something like that. All right, so those are glue sticks. Let me see, do I have one here without a glue stick in it so I can show you? This one right here does not have a glue stick in it right now. So, by the way, you can use the Cricut sticks with any mini glue gun, and vice versa. You can use other glue sticks with the Cricut. So that, just in case you're curious. So it goes right in the back, just like this, right? And you can see here the glue stick, and then you would want to, it'll like kind of like, do you see how as I pull the trigger, now it's loaded, right? So now it's ready to go. And now we would turn it on and use it, okay? All right, so my next tip is to glue at the right distance, okay? So glue guns really should be placed right up against the thing that you're trying to glue, not inches away. So let me get out a project where we've glued it, and I'll sort of demonstrate it for you. So here is a project that we used the glue gun on. And this is a project that's coming up. This is a Dollar Tree project. These came from the Dollar Tree. So when we glue, we don't, in fact, let me switch my camera so you can see better, so you can see from the side. There we go. So when I'm gluing this project, I don't want to be, let's see what's a better view right here. I don't want to be here, like an inch or so away. I want to be right down against it, right? Right up touching it. I'm usually touching it, and there's a little glue dripping out there. I'm usually touching it when I'm gluing, in fact. So you want to get up close and personal, just like this. That gives you better control and also avoids a lot of strings that can result from using it further away. Those little strings, They will tend to happen as it's cooling too quickly, okay? Now, I also want you to tell you about what's called open time. So open time refers to the time between when you first apply the glue and when the glue forms the bond. All adhesives have an open time. The hotter the glue, the less open time you have. So with hot glue, we don't have a lot. It's usually just a few seconds with a hot glue gun. So if you're using a high temp glue gun like this one, be ready to stick your things in place right away. If you wait too long, the glue can cool too much and won't form the proper bond. This may take a little experimenting with your glue gun and your material to understand better because different surfaces will bond at different rates. I find it works best if my glue gun's tip is really close to my project, as it seems to maximize that open time, right? You can get some glue sticks with an extended open time. The Gorilla sticks I told you about, these have a 45-second working time, and I like to use these too, right? Maybe, 45 seconds might be stretching it a little. All right, so we've got open time and then we have set time. Set time is the time before the glue solidifies, and it's the time required to bond fully. While the open time is just a few seconds, the set time is measured in minutes, even hours. I recommend at least 10 minutes for the set time on hot glue. That means you want at least 10 minutes before that glue forms a strong bond and you start, trying to test it. And I also recommend waiting 12 hours for the maximum hold. And hot glue can be amazingly strong if you do it properly. For example, one of my projects is a paper tower of power. That's what I call it. It's just a IKEA calyx that's on its end. It's got some wheels, but I used hot glue to put the shelves in it. And some of you might be familiar with that tutorial. My paper tower of power is still in my room back at my house, and it's still filled with paper. And I made it 4 or 5 years ago. It was just hot glue. It's still doing awesome. So if we do it properly, it can do a great job. In fact, my next tip will also help with that. So you can get a better bond with your hot glue if you rough up the smooth surface with sandpaper before you hot glue it. I recommend 200 grit sandpaper on surfaces like plastic or that IKEA furniture to make them less smooth and give the hot glue something to grab onto. I also recommend you wipe it down with alcohol too, because that can really help you get a clean, strong bond. So if you're not happy with the bond of your hot glue, rough it up, scruff it up, and give it some alcohol. And then I also recommend you keep your hot glue gun clean. If you get a bunch of gunky stuff on it, you can clean it with a ball of aluminum foil while the hot glue gun is warmed up, because there's some temperature going, it's a little bit warm right here. And it's also important to use the right sticks for the right job. So in addition to the size and temperature, you may want to match up the material. You can get glue sticks made just for wood. And then you can also get some unusual things like glow-in-the-dark glue sticks, colored glue sticks, and glitter glue sticks, right? And then glue strings. Glue strings drive me nuts. It tends to happen when the hot glue kind of cools a little bit, and then it forms these little strings. If you've ever used hot glue, you know what I'm talking about. Some people call them glue hairs. I call them glue strings. So as you're using it, and as you're doing a project, you'll notice these little strings of glue that almost look like spider cobwebs. They're driving me nuts. They don't make your projects look great. You can minimize them by keeping your glue gun's nozzle close to the surface as you work, or you can use glue sticks that also have minimal strings, like the Cricut ones. I think there's other ones that are just no string glue guns. Another tip that I learned is to use Vaseline on the tip of your nozzle. It forms a coating there, and it helps with the glue strings. So if you're just driving you nuts, or one of the reasons that you don't like hot glue is try a little Vaseline on the nozzle, and it should help. Now, if you did a project already and there's glue strings all over it, because sometimes when you're working, you don't see them, and then you take a step back and you're like, what the heck? Get out your hair dryer, turn it on, heat it up, You know, you don't want just air, you want heat. And blow it over your surface. You can turn the air down a little bit, but that heat will magically make all of those little strings melt and go away. Okay, and now protection. Okay, so I have some things to show you for that. Protection is a big thing. I know I personally will avoid my glue gun when I'm worried that I'm going to burn myself, because that's no fun. So I recommend, let's see if I can get my things over here. And these here. And this here. Okay. Let me switch over. Okay, so I recommend these little beauties. Finger protectors. These are from Dollar Tree. You can get them in many places. They just slip over the tips of your fingers, and they are a lifesaver. They will protect you from burns, because that's kind of where we tend to get them, is when we're pressing on something. You'll also want to protect your work surface, as little bits of glue can drop onto it and create a mess. You can just use scrap paper, butcher paper, but I find that a self-healing mat like this does a great job of letting me peel off the spilled glue after it cools, right? So for example, I actually glued this word. Can you see it says glue? I put it right onto my mat. I just wrote it right on there with my glue right before today's video, and then I peeled it right off. And you can see that you can't even see it's there. They sell little mats at Dollar Tree like this, and I was going to peel one right off for you so you could see that it comes right off. See? They come right off. So this is, if you're like, it won't come off paper like this, but they come right off the mats. So definitely, you know, protect your work surface. Now, if you're worried about using a hot glue gun because of burns, I totally get that. So I want to give you some peace of mind. Here's a great tip. Put a bowl of water right next to your surface. Put some ice in it. And then if you get hot glue on yourself, immediately put your hand or elbow, arm, whatever in that water to reduce the temperature right away and minimize the chance of getting burned. Sort of a little fail-safe just in case. Okay. And if you're really concerned about it, you can always use these lovely things. These are, you know, heat protectant gloves, and you can wear them. You know, it's not quite as, you don't have the same kind of motor control, but you're not going to get glue gun burns if you have them on, right? Okay, so yeah, protect yourself, very important. Okay, and let's get at this one here. The next tip is your power, right? So you need to stay safe and always turn your glue gun off and unplug it also when you're finished. So never leave your glue gun unattended. You might think it's safe, it's got an auto off, whatever, but all it takes is one kid or one animal, my cat walking across my desk, or even a gust of wind, and then you're not safe. Keep your fingers and clothing away from the tip and other things. If it's very hot, it can start a fire. Remember, safety first, okay? This is always so, so important. I want you to be safe and craft safely and have fun and not get third-degree burns. All right, and I would love to answer any questions anyone has about hot glue guns. Also, if you have tips to share with us, this is a great time to tell us, and I can share them with everybody else. Okay, so Linda says, what are hot glue plates? I think you might mean something else. We actually picked one up so I could tell you about it. I have not tried them yet. Let me show you what this is. Let's set this over here. I think you might mean this. A glue skillet? Is this what you mean? So this is a bowl that you put little glue pellets in, and then you dip things in that you want to glue. Personally, it seems a little scary. I gotta admit, I haven't played with it yet. It seems like a great recipe for a disaster, but I think with certain applications, you could find it useful, right? I'm not sure that with any of the crafts that we're doing today, we'd want to do that, but there could definitely be some things where, especially if you got, you know, like a stick or something, if you dip it in there. But yeah, that's what this is, a glue skillet, a glue bowl, I've heard them called. Has anyone ever used one? I would love to know if you like these or not, right? Okay. And also I see the comment about ice water for burns. It's not, it's to reduce that temperature right away, because the longer that hot glue stays on your skin, the more it's going to burn. So you want to get it off, get it into water so that then you can remove it and then you treat your burn. So I'm not recommending ice for treating the burn. I'm recommending ice to reduce the temperature because it's continuing to burn you as it's on your skin. Susan says, how do you feel about a cordless glue gun? Right, it's a great question. So I almost always use a corded glue gun, honestly. You might see me in tutorials use a cordless, because having a cord drag across my desk and mess everything up drives me nuts. But the truth is that when I am crafting, like sitting here by myself and crafting, I will use this reliable one because its power is coming from that outlet over there. I don't have to worry about its battery. I don't have to worry about its temperature. It is much more reliable. Some people love cordless glue guns. I'm just not really one of them. I can't tell you how many live videos I've tried to do, and I charge my glue gun, I turn it on, and then, you know, I'm talking, because that happens. People have questions, and I go to use my glue gun, and it's turned off, and it's cooled down, and I can't just, it takes longer to heat up, right? So it doesn't work well for me. So I personally, I love the idea that I can just move it around my space without having a cord. Yes, but when it comes to performance, it's lacking for me personally. Claudia says, only the Cricut glue gun is on the Amazon list. Was the cordless purchased somewhere else? All these glue guns you see came from so many different places. Joann's, Michael's, Amazon, Menards, all sorts of places for these glue guns, right? Over the years, this is my glue gun collection. So you will actually, if you go back through my tutorials, you'll see many different glue guns recommended. You're welcome to do that if you'd like. This one here, this cordless, this is called Haushof. Let me show you up close. This is the best cordless, let me put my little glue here, we'll stick it there. This is the best cordless glue gun that I have found so far, and it is on Amazon. And it was on sale during Black Friday, in fact. So yeah, but it's still not quite good enough for me. I still struggle with it. Renee says, can you use a hot glue gun on felt? For example, the ornaments I made for last year's Christmas tree countdown calendar, the Fabric Fusion and Barely Art glue isn't working. I'm using the recommended Arteza felt. You should be able to use hot glue gun on a lot of surfaces. You do have to be cautious because it's so hot, it can melt some surfaces. Foam, for example, right? It'll melt foam, but it should be fine on felt. You should be fine. I think that you could use it on felt, yes. Sue Molly says, SureBond sells 5-foot long glue sticks for the mini glue guns. I love not having to reload on long projects. That is awesome. 5-foot long glue sticks. I'm going to have to try some of those. That's a great tip. Thank you very much, Sue. Debbie says, I would love to know about the different types of glue sticks, fabric, wood, foam, etc. Also, do you have a dedicated glue gun to each separate kind, like one for colored glitter, one for wood, fabric, etc.? So I can't tell you about all the different glue sticks because I haven't tried all of them. I've tried a few of them. Mostly I just stick to multi-purpose glue sticks, honestly. I find that if I want to have glitter, I usually add it later. That's just how I work, right? Glitter glue sticks kind of seem like a novelty, but it depends on the project you're making too. Like some people actually like to make crafts from glue guns, right? From the glue, right? There's all sorts of cool things that you can do. Like just the way that I made this little glue, right? I made this little, right? You can do all sorts of things. And in that case, that's when like glitter glue might be really cool to have. And then wood glue is for when you're gluing wood. And fabric is for fabric, right? So there's actually a whole lot of different glue sticks out there. So if you're doing something specialized, or if you're finding that the multi-purpose glue isn't working for you, do a little research to see if there is a hot glue that is intended for your purpose. Debbie, oh, I got that one. Emma says, have you ever tried E6000 glue? I sure have. I love E6000. Yep, and we use it for a lot of like ceramics and jewelry, glass, stuff like that. So yes, E6000 is a different kind of glue. There's actually so many glues out there. I should definitely do a tutorial on all the different kinds of glues and which glue is best for which kind of projects. Like for example, I like to use craft glue for paper. I pretty much never use hot glue for paper. The only exception might be like a big paper project, like a big paper flower, just because it's faster, right? So hot glue is faster to set than like a liquid craft glue is. So sometimes that's useful. But yeah, I really like E6000. In fact, our snowman over there, in fact, one of the issues with E6000 is that it takes a long time to set. And it's like a really, really long time. So one tip that you can do is you can use E6000 and then you can use your hot glue gun and put like a line of glue on the outside of it, around it, whatever your shape is, to keep it in place so you don't have to sit there and hold it in place, right? So you can use a combination of the two to use E6000 effectively, if it works for your project, of course. Donna says, what's your thoughts on the Cricut glue gun? Well, I think it's cute. Not that that matters, mostly. Everything Cricut makes is cute. I think it's expensive for what it is. So if you're looking for it, you might want to wait till it goes on sale. It's pretty new, so it's not going to be on sale yet. I really like the glue sticks. I think the glue sticks are really high quality. And the thing I don't like about it is that there is no stand for it. Now, Cricut says you can just lay it down, and yes, I can just lay it down like this. It's fine. I mean, it works. You know, here it is. It's laying down, but like, I don't know. I wanna not do that. I want to actually stand it up. Maybe it's just habit from all the others that have stands, right? I'm not sure. I'm thinking about making a glue stand for it though, because it's just, I want it to be, I think also if I had a stand, it would be easier to grab. When it's on the table, right, I have to like pick it up. But when it has a stand, right, this one, when I'm ready to use it, I mean, I could set it down and pick it up. It's like more fluid. So I feel like it needs a glue stand. So Cricut, please make a glue stand or make a stand for this, or give us a glue stand. I don't know, or we'll just make one. We can make one. But I think that it works really well. I really like that. Do I have it unplugged right now? I might have it unplugged right now. I really like that the LED light will light up orange when it's heating up and green, so it's really easy to see. So yeah, but it's just a basic glue gun. There's nothing really high tech about it, right? It's got a good nozzle and it's got some variable control here, like how much you press, but honestly, that's true for most glue guns too. So, but I still like it. You'll see me using it a lot. It feels really good in my hand. So sometimes I will use a particular cup or something because it fits my hand well. So there's that too. But I do think it's a little high priced right now for what it is. So maybe wait till there's a sale on it. That's my honest truth. You all know I'll be really honest with you. Rusilla says, I have a glue skillet. I love it. It's great for dipping floral stems. I also keep long toothpicks to dip and dab glue. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that you love it. I'm going to try out this one I have so I can determine if it's something I could use or not. There's the glue skillet, right? Sylvia says, what's the best glue gun for glitter cardstock? Yeah. Honestly, they're all going to be fine. I do recommend high temperature for glitter, not low temperature, generally speaking. I mean, with paper crafts, you can generally go with low temperature, but glitter is hard to glue. So glitter and craft glue don't go together. And that is the one place I will recommend that you use hot glue is on glitter cardstock. So any of these are probably going to be fine. Most all of these that I have here are all high temperature. I don't even know. Like some of these, yep, high temperature. This is Elmer's Craft Bond. I have lots of random little, this is Art Minds from Joann's, I think is where that came from. A lot of glue guns. Okay, cool. Was this helpful? I hope that you found this useful and that after talking about glue guns with me, that you're going to feel more comfortable to use your hot glue gun to make things. If you have more questions about hot glue guns, please just visit my awesome crafters group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters, and we would be happy to help. We have tons of crafters in there, lots of experience using hot glue guns, and it's a very friendly, helpful place, as I'm sure everyone in the chat will attest to.